Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to wait. It's about a minute after 12. We've got some folks still in line to get their food, so I'm going to give them a couple minutes. We'll get started here and shortly. Looks like Lori's closing the doors. We're ready to get started. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Park Cities. This is our 39th meeting of the year. How about that? Time's flying. Flies when you're having fun. It's really nice. I appreciate all of you coming out today. And I know we all I woke up this morning with a little bit of another step toward normalcy with the new CDC guidelines. So, I would like to see if we've got any guests in the audience here today. Do I see? Yep, there's a guest. All right. Here we go.
Yeah, I don't need a microphone.
You're good.
I'd like to introduce Natalie Coury.
Thank you, Paul.
She is in business development with Henley & Henley Law Firm.
Okay.
And I just did her interview for new membership, so you'll be seeing her name posted soon.
Wonderful. Welcome. Glad you're here, Natalie. Okay, any other guests today? No? That's it. All right. Before we get started with the invocation, I just wanted to bring to your attention that Maggiano's opening up the buffet has helped us tremendously. It has taken a huge workload off of Lori. You don't have to remember to register online. But what they have said is that it is their policy that you have to wear the plastic sleeve when you go through and serve yourself. So just a little, in respect to them and their policy, that we'll go ahead and wear those. I appreciate that. And now let's get started with an invocation followed by the pledge and the national anthem. If you would stand, please.
Thank you, President Barb. Certainly it's good to see everyone here and to be back meeting again. I've not been here the last few weeks, but it's good to see all your smiling faces and once again getting back to some degree of normalcy here. I did have a word of update on Lee Wagner. Lee had hip surgery a couple of weeks ago. He's doing well. I talked to him last Friday. He had just walked in the door from the hospital when I called and talked to him. But I did talk to him this morning as well. He is recuperating. It's a slow process, but we want to continue to have him in our prayers. He's having a little trouble sleeping and resting right now, but he's going through his physical therapy, so we'll include him in our prayers today. Is there any other prayers, or are there any other prayers, joys or concerns that we might have? Mark?
Fred, I mentioned the last couple of weeks we have some good friends of ours whose senior son was seriously injured in a car accident a few weeks ago. I'm pleased to report that he's been moved from the hospital that he was at to Baylor for rehab, but he still has a long way to go, and they're basically concerned now about head trauma and bringing him back.
I understand. We'll be praying for him as well. Thank you for sharing that with us. Barb?
Yes, today is Richard Stanford's mother's funeral.
Okay.
So I expected him to be here, but I'm glad he's not.
Well, for those that maybe not heard, Barbara, Richard Stanford's mother, who passed away a couple of weeks ago, her funeral is today at Highland Park. No, it's not at Highland Park. At Grove Hill, okay. And so we'll want to remember Richard and his family as that funeral happens this afternoon. So other joys or concerns from anyone? If not, if you'll bow your heads and join me in prayer, please. Our dear Heavenly Father, as we gather here today as members of the Rotary Club at Park Cities, we pray that we are ever mindful of opportunities to render our service to our fellow citizens and to our community. Accept our thanks for this day and all its blessings, its opportunities and its challenges. Guide and direct our club, its leaders, and our actions. Grant that each of us may feel our responsibility to Rotary, to our community, and to our country. May each of us in our daily routine come to know the joy of caring and sharing with others not as fortunate as we are. Let us continue to strive to make a better world. Today we ask a special blessing for our shared joys and concerns, and for those mindful thoughts that are in our hearts but not spoken here today. Bless our fellowship today, and bless the food prepared for us to the nourishment of our bodies and us to your service. It is in your holy name we pray. Amen. And if you would take your right hand and place it on your heart and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Up this way. Oh. I didn't do that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the... Yeah, well,
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Great. Thank you. Now That was great, Fred. Thank you very much. And it's nice to be able to sing along. We've got a couple, let's see, Patsy, she's going to tell us a little bit about this week's Marketplace Advertiser.
Whoa. Yes, our marketplace ad for this week is Oldham or Oldham? Which was Oldham Lumber Company, and our member Lynn SURLS is the CEO. Oldham Lumber is a historic Dallas company and is celebrating its 100th anniversary this year, and will also celebrate its largest revenue year ever. And I think that's incredible. And of course, we all know about the home building industry going on, but it's located in North Texas, where they serve most of the largest custom home builders in the Metroplex and have a continuous presence in the Park Cities. They are also a leader in the production builder market, serving such national builders as Beazer Homes and Bloomfield Homes. This year, Oldham will provide building materials for over 2,300 single-family residences in North Texas and for thousands more homes in multifamily projects across Texas and adjacent states. Oldham national commercial clients include restaurant chains as they expand throughout the U.S., including Raising Cane's, Hooters, and Whataburger. Oldham has many commercial customers and has supplied concrete forming material for many notable jobs in the Metroplex, including American Airlines Center, AT&T Stadium Globe Life Field, the Cowboy Star Development, and ongoing work at DFW Airport. Oldham Lumber is owned by Harley, Bubba Fennell, and Lynn SURLS. Harley joined Oldham in 1978, and in addition to being Chief Operating Officer of the company, he is currently serving as Vice President, and in September will become President of the Lumbermen's Association of Texas, which was founded in 1886 and serves as the leading advocate for Texas lumber retailers. Lynn began his association with Oldham in 1985 and now is the Chief Executive Officer. He joined this club in 1989. He is a Paul Harris Fellow, a Paul Harris Society member, and a Frank Monroe Fellow. Homeowners and building owners, tell your contractor you want the best product and the best service. Get the material from Oldham. Let's all thank Lynn SURLS for sponsoring today's hub. Thank you, Lynn.
Well, thank you, Lynn. And I can't imagine how busy your business is right now. Goodness gracious. Lynn was also a treasurer of the club several years ago. Well, I'm going to get a lineup here. If I could get Kyle and Daniel, Eric, Linda Tunnell, Happy, and Stan. We'll get a lineup here and we'll get started. We're going to start off with a really exciting award. Recently, Betty actually brought this to my attention, that the Park Cities People gives an award every year, and it is for the top 20 under 40. Well, we have members in our club that are under 40. How about that? And one of them really stands out. And as a result of this, Kyle MARMILLION won this award. And so he is receiving this plaque today from the Park Cities People. Where's Kyle? There he is. The plaque is almost as tall as he is. It's outstanding. Kyle has done a lot for the club in a very short amount of time. He is currently our Sergeant at Arms. He serves on our RCPC Foundation Committee. Oh my goodness. He also does a lot of work on our website. When you fill in your volunteer opportunity forms, he puts those there. He's my go-to website guy. In addition to serving when we do serve meals at Ronald McDonald House, Kyle is always there. So, Kyle, congratulations.
Thank you.
Get a picture? There we go. Very proud. That's a big plaque.
It's heavy.
Thank you, Ian. Congratulations, Kyle. Well deserved. All right, Daniel, here we go. We've got a new member.
I am
not under 40, so we'll
No.
definitely no awards there.
Wheel on up here.
Okay, so we're calling JR, right?
JR,
So this is actually very exciting. We've got a host of phenomenal new members coming up. The next one, JR Priestman. JR, you can start to walk up. So I've gotten to know JR pretty well through this process. He had, as many of you know, moved here from Atlanta. He was previously working as an executive with Home Depot. Was always very active. I think Home Depot is a big proponent of getting involved with your local community. So when he came here to Dallas, one of the first things he did was seek out opportunities to get involved with the community. So he stumbled upon us, and he can explain exactly how he found us, but he is an excellent example of somebody new to the area who's seeking out ways to give back, to get involved. I think he's going to be a phenomenal asset to the club. If you haven't had an opportunity to meet him yet, please reach out. And JR, this is your call to action. This is your homework reading assignments. As long as with your red badge, we expect you to switch that out with the blue badge as soon as you get through the process, as quickly as possible. And congratulations to you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Say a few words.
Okay, great. Like Dan said, I moved here from Atlanta, which I'm not originally from. I'm from New Jersey, by the way. The day before that snowstorm, and had to move in my own U-Haul in the snow that day because our movers canceled on us. So I was involved in the Sandy Springs Rotary Club, a town just north of Atlanta. And so I knew I wanted to continue to stay involved with Rotary after I moved. So we have family here in the Highland Park area. So I had, become familiar with this part of Dallas. And so that's why I kind of sought you guys out. I actually went to 4 different Rotary Club meetings around the area, and I liked you guys the best. So.
Glad you're here. That's a wise man. All right. Eric has a really exciting initiative we're going to talk about next. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, President Barb. I was asked to, the Salvation Army is one of our collaborative partners, and we haven't done a large project with them, and I don't even remember when. So we went to Captain Chris Gibson, who took the place of Paul McFarland, who was with our club. And he said, well, as a matter of fact, we're working on a project right now. We're getting bids for an activities area here at the Adult Rehabilitation Center. So I said, well, perfect. So we've had a couple meetings. And what I wanted to do today is run you through kind of what we're doing, what we're thinking, what we think it's going to cost, and we'll go from there. So next slide. So this is the beauty of this. This is a collaborative partnership with one of our collaborative partners, and it addresses our health and wellness initiative. And I'll get to the thousands part in a second, but the Adult Rehabilitation Center handles spiritual and social and emotional needs of people in our communities. And the Dallas Arc holds about 100 people every 6 months. And these are people, I've heard, being on the advisory council there, I've heard a lot of these gentlemen talk, and they're people just like us. They got down the wrong track for whatever reason, good educations, they speak well, have held good jobs, and they've just gotten down the wrong track. So the Salvation Army there is there to help them. And when I mentioned thousands with these gentlemen coming in every 6 months, over time, it's going to add up pretty quickly. So we're going to start with your project here. And this is an area, if I may here, I'm going to go this way here for a second. This is the area, the Outdoors Activity Center. It's kind of right between where we have lunch, those that have been there, and the warehouse. This is the wall of the warehouse there. And we're going to start off here. We've got a couple entrance gates here that need to be replaced walking into the facility. The next 2 slides show the basketball court. This is basically a half court. You're looking at the warehouse wall there. And what we'd like to do is just basically the court's in good shape, like to go in and resurface it. And this is going to be we're going to figure out the details of it, but a good hands-on project for us as well that we can do in a short time. So we're going to resurface that back on the basketball court. We're also they want to make it a pickleball court, so we're going to make it half and half there. This part right here, we just want to go in and they would like to redo the edging around all the shrubbery they have there. The shrubbery's starting to come back like a lot of ours, and we're going to redo that. Cub Amos is leading the construction part of this project. Carl von Bieberstein is handling the landscaping, and we should have illustrations for sometime in June. This part right here is a sitting area where they basically, the gentlemen basically hang out and talk, and there's some patio furniture there. They got a foosball table, and we'd like to go in and stain that. Most of it is in pretty good shape. We want to replace a little bit of the wood and stain that. You know a lumber guy? There he is. We need about 5 pieces of wood. So this right here, there's a lot of pavers in the area. We want to go in and take those out because they're uneven, they're wobbly, just makes it hard for people to walk, a little bit dangerous. So we're going to go in there and replace that with concrete walkways. This right here these are 2 horseshoe pits they have in there. We'll go in there, take out the railroad ties, take out the dirt. There's some concrete. It's hard to see there at the end. We're going to leave that and put a backboard on it and replace all that. So if you can see on that right picture there, that back fence, we'll come in there with a backhoe. We don't have to tear down the fence. We can just take out an 8-foot section of that fence and come in that direction. And this is just a fenced-in area in the area there that we'll take out, and we'll hopefully on their wish list is some patio furniture. So we'll hopefully put in some outdoor furniture there and just have a bigger space for them. Right now it just holds a bunch of junk and we don't necessarily need it. The last one here is just the paint around the top of the 2 structures you have there. It's all faded, and we just want to go in and paint that, and I think maybe we can do that ourselves if we're real careful. So. And finally, we'd like to go in and put in on each side, there's steps on each side of this sitting area. We'll go in and put in some ADA compliant wheelchair ramps, and so they're able to get up and down if needed. And we'll go to there should be one more slide there on the, this is the original one. Let me get, you guys probably want to hear about the cost. So we're estimating, and this is completely estimated, maybe a high number, $40,000. We're looking at, our wish list is $20,000 from the RCPC Foundation, district grants of $3,500. Salvation Army is going to match some money for us at $6,000. And then we're looking for $10,000 from donors in the community. When we look back at that basketball court, on our wish list is the Dallas Mavericks to maybe participate, possibly put a logo on there for us. So we're going to be working with some of our community partners on that. And with that, that is the project. President Barb, come on back.
Thank you, Eric. This is a perfect example of what we do best. We not only buy food trucks and we put in medical clinics in Bonton, but we reach out to the Salvation Army, another really important partner of ours. So thank you, Eric, for just getting started. I know he's got building a team in place. If you would like to help, contact Eric. We'll be hearing lots more about this. All right, Linda, let's talk about, speaking of medical clinics.
Well, I have a confession to make. I've never been to Bonton. Now, that is crazy. I helped raise money. I've never been down there. How many other people have not been to Bonton? I want you to confess. Okay, so this is your chance. May 28th, a fun picnic lunch. We're going to be thanking everybody that made a donation. You can look around if you want to. We're going to have a really good lunch, $15, so cheap. We need for you to reply by the Wednesday before the 28th. And I really hope we have a big turnout because they're so excited. We have raised money to outfit their medical clinic. So I hope you can come, and you want to have a confession like I did. That'd be good. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. That is the Friday of Memorial Day weekend. We will not be in this room eating this buffet. We will all be at Bonton Farms with a $15 picnic lunch, hopefully in a gorgeous day. All right. Okay, Happy? She's got a few things to tell us. Get your calendars out.
And there's so many that I may not cover all of them. But first up, we have RCPC Brunch tomorrow, the Cheesecake Factory at 11. Please register so I'll know how many seats to reserve tomorrow. It's going to be lots of fun. It's a great time to get to know other people outside of the club. And then PCRConnect next Thursday, May 20th. We're going to be having PCRConnect with the Rotary Club of Dallas. So joint happy hour with the Rotary Club of Dallas at Seasons 52 at 5 p.m. Thursday, May 20th. That's going to be so fun. Please calendar to be there. On June 13th, Sunday, June 13th, we're going to have an Italian cooking class. $100 per person. You're going to learn how to make a fabulous 4-course Italian meal that we'll get to eat afterwards and enjoy an unlimited amount of wine and limoncello. So it'll be lots of fun. So please RSVP to join us for that. The RCPC installation is going to be on Friday, June 25th at the Park City Club. Please also RSVP for that. That's going to be lots of fun. We're going to have the installation and the awards luncheon there. It's from 11:30 to 1, Friday, June 25th. On Saturday, June 26th, we are going to check out the Texas Discovery Gardens and the Butterfly Garden. I am so excited. It's going to be lots of fun. So that's Saturday, June 25th. It's from 3 to 5 p.m. It's only $8 for adults, and it's like $6 for seniors, and I think $5 for children. So take a look at the price break points so you can make sure you register appropriately. But great prices. There's no cost for parking, and so it's going to be a lot of fun. Hope to have a really great group there. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Happy. Thank you. That is a social chair right there. Let me tell you. There are things happening in this club. All right, Stan, let's talk about what happened last Saturday.
Thank you. I promised you last week that that was my last time to come up and grovel for volunteers, which that was the last time I'm groveling. Now I'm going to tell you members who did not show up, what a really fun time you missed. You can't, that top picture up there, we all had masks on. You can't tell, but everybody had the biggest smile on their face. It was unbelievable, unbelievable. And the bottom one was what we had to do. Luckily, we didn't have peanut butter jar detail. What we did do was really pretty cool. We were packing bags for kids. They send them out to the different schools all around Dallas County and Collin County, because a lot of these kids don't have food on the weekend. So they give them these bags of food to eat over the weekend, and that's what we were doing, was going down a line and putting them together. When we finished, you can't read it at the bottom, we ended up doing 4,680 bags for these kids. It was really, so for y'all that came, that was a great job, and we really had a fun time. And you can see it. The bottom picture was our wrap up, and they were showing that, and they you can't tell they had masks, but everybody was just giddy with excitement behind those masks. They had had such a good time. So for you members that didn't come, well, I don't mean to call you out, but you know who you are. But I'll give you, thank you. There will be another opportunity for you Schlacker members this fall. Thank you.
Appreciate you organizing that. Thank you. It was a lot of fun. And I have to tell you that with Tricia Cunningham in our club, we made her proud. We showed up with, there was at least 30 of us there, so it was great. Yeah, it was really great. Let's see, just two more things real quick. One is that your dues are due, and if you would please give that your attention, get that done over the weekend in order to avoid late fees that go into effect in June. So pay the bill. And then lastly, we are still volunteering. I know Jen is going to be out there this afternoon at Bonton Farms. This is happening every Friday from 3 to 5. Several of you in the room I know have helped with that, and Stephanie Bonham really appreciates it. It's a couple hours of really makes a difference to those folks filling those meal bags. All right. Yes.
The food out there is awesome. I had a hamburger. It's one of the best food I've ever had. The food is really awesome.
Yeah, it's a great cafe. Yeah. Yeah, it's wonderful. There's 2 more Fridays, 2 more opportunities to do that. The invitation will come out on Mondays from Holly. So sign up and take a drive. It's very close to downtown. All right, Barbara, if you would come to the podium, we have a guest speaker today. Looking forward to this.
Thank you. It's really an honor for me to introduce Julie Yarbrough. She is a native of Dallas. We don't have too many of those. Went to Texas Christian University. Her career in the last 30 years has been as a certified financial planner. She has also a lot of experience in real estate, investment, estate management, and she currently serves as the president of Yarbrough Investments. She's on the board of the Methodist Health System and then just finished about 6 weeks ago chairing the board for the last 3 years. She is also a member of the executive board of the Perkins School of Theology at SMU. She serves on the board of the Texas Methodist Foundation, and she is on a member of the National Leadership Council for Project Transformation. She has written quite a bit, several books on grief as a result or coming out of the death of her husband, Dr. Leighton Farrell, who served as the pastor of Highland Park Methodist Church for 23 years. And her newest book, I'm just going to show it to you, is A Present Comfort, Meditations on Modern Loss and Grief. And it talks about the complexity of grief. I think about Methodist Hospital, where she has served with so much care and love, and that she was there during all the pandemic regularly. And I told her, when I look toward Oak Cliff, from one of the bridges in Dallas, you see these buildings on the hill. That is the Methodist Hospital. And it has some kind of, for me, a very spiritual place. And it does such great healing. And I'm just hoping today you will just learn a little bit about the great healing and love that goes on in that community. We welcome you, Julie.
It's a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you so much for having me. Some of you may already know about Methodist Health System, while others of you may only be aware of Methodist through what you see on TV ads and on billboards. Still others of you may be a patient of a doctor who is part of the Methodist medical group. Unlike many of the patients served by Methodist, likely most everyone here has some kind of health insurance that provides access to medical professionals, hospitalization, and a range of healthcare benefits. Let me assure you that I'm not here today to try to sell you on using the services of Methodist Health System, but rather to familiarize you with a healthcare system that makes an extraordinary contribution to the lives of those in need of healthcare, regardless of their ability to pay. To begin, let me share with you a little of the history of Methodist Health System. In 1921, a men's Sunday school class at First Methodist Church in downtown Dallas saw a clear need to provide health care for the most marginalized group of people in the city of Dallas. This group of dedicated individuals included many of the forward-thinking civic leaders who shaped the future of the Dallas we now live in and enjoy. Their vision to build a hospital south of the Trinity River became a reality when Methodist Dallas Hospital opened its doors on Christmas Eve in 1927. The group that built and established what would one day become Methodist Health System could not have imagined where it would be today. From humble beginnings, Methodist Health System has become one of the leading healthcare providers in the North Texas area. The mission of Methodist is to improve and save lives through compassionate quality healthcare, which it does every day. If you think about it, a hospital never closes. There are no snow days, holidays, or vacation days in the life of a hospital. It's open and staffed 24/7, 365 days a year to provide a full range of clinical and support services to its patients. Methodist was created as a healing ministry, and healing is still our calling. We are deeply committed to the health and wellness of the communities we serve. That commitment keeps us on the forefront of Methodist in the DFW area and across the nation. So what does Methodist Health System look like today? Methodist is a faith-based, not-for-profit healthcare system with annual revenue of $1.8 billion. Methodist is the largest employer south of the Trinity River with a diverse employee population of over 8,500 healthcare providers, staff, and support personnel. Methodist has over 1,700 licensed beds across 6 wholly owned hospitals: Methodist Dallas in Oak Cliff, Methodist Charlton in southern Dallas County, Methodist Richardson on President George Bush Turnpike at Renner Road in Richardson, Methodist Mansfield, Methodist Southlake, and our newest hospital, Methodist Midlothian. In addition, there are 6 joint venture hospitals, including the Addison Hospital for Surgery on the Dallas North Tollway, and over 20 primary care clinics across Dallas, Collin, Tarrant, and Ellis counties. In addition, Methodist Health System has 3 ambulatory surgery centers, a dedicated rehabilitation facility, a behavioral health unit, and a skilled nursing facility for transitional care. In the DFW area, Methodist has a market share of about 9%, but in the southern sector of Dallas County, it is the overwhelming market leader. Methodist is the only not-for-profit health system with major hospitals south of the Trinity River. In 2020, Methodist Health System spent over 10% of its net patient revenue, approximately $180 million, on charity and uncompensated care. 70% of this amount was spent at Methodist Dallas and Methodist Charlton, which provide health care services to the uninsured and underinsured patient population in the southern sector of Dallas County. This is the highest percentage amount of charity and uncompensated care given by any not-for-profit hospital system in the DFW area. In other words, Methodist Health System gives a tithe of its earnings back to the communities it serves. Methodist has 5 world-renowned centers of excellence: the Digestive Institute, the Moody Brain and Spine Institute, Robotics, the Transplant Institute, and Trauma Services. Methodist Dallas in Oak Cliff is an internationally recognized destination for treatment of renal disease. Specialists there have been providing kidney transplants since 1980 with the highest survival rate of any institution in Texas. If you need a new kidney, you might consider consulting with a specialist at Methodist. As part of the Methodist Digestive Institute, the flagship pancreas program at Methodist Dallas is the first in the United States to receive Gold Seal certification from the Joint Commission for Pancreatic Surgery and Pancreatitis. If you've been diagnosed with pancreatic disease, you might consider consulting with a specialist at Methodist. In 2014, Methodist Dallas became a robotic epicenter for the Da Vinci robotic surgical system, as well as the first epicenter for robotic hepatobiliary surgery. Surgeons from around the world come to learn from experts at the Methodist Digestive Institute. Methodist Dallas is recognized as a comprehensive stroke center, which is the highest level of stroke certification. Professionals trained in vascular disease, neurology, neurosurgery, and endovascular procedures treat the most complex stroke cases there. The Charles A. Sammons Trauma Tower at Methodist Dallas is a Level 1 trauma center, which is the highest level of trauma and emergency care available. The Level 1 designation means that Methodist Dallas is staffed and equipped to provide advanced care for most forms of trauma 24 hours a day. Many of the accident victims with severe brain and spinal injuries you hear about on the news are treated at Methodist Dallas, one of only 3 adult trauma centers in the city. Because of its location in southern Dallas, Methodist Charlton has the 3rd busiest emergency department in Dallas County with a Level 3 designation to care for critically injured patients. Since 2014, Methodist Health System has been a member of the Mayo Clinic Care Network. It is the only healthcare system in Texas that has a clinical relationship with the Mayo Clinic. In addition to clinical inpatient and outpatient services, Methodist is committed to the communities it serves through many outreach programs. Mobile mammography provides early detection and treatment for breast cancer. The Asian Breast Health Outreach Project provides education and mammogram screening for uninsured and underinsured Asian women over the age of 40. The Life Shines Bright Pregnancy Program works in partnership with the March of Dimes to reduce the risk of preterm births. The Congregational Health Ministry provides health resources to area churches in an effort to improve the physical and spiritual health of the people in those congregations. Needless to say, a global pandemic has strained even the strongest organizations. Today, I'd like to share with you how Methodist Health System has met the challenges and demands of COVID-19 pandemic in an unprecedented healthcare environment. In March of 2020, no one could have imagined how drastically a deadly virus could impact a healthcare system in terms of manpower, resources, and sheer stamina. No one knew then what it would really mean to withstand an event of large-scale illness and unimaginable death. Despite enormous challenges from the onset of the crisis, the response of Methodist Health System has been swift, collaborative, compassionate, and mission-focused. Extraordinary teamwork, thoughtful decision-making, and operational unity allowed Methodist to create a consistent environment of safety and care for its patients and workforce, notwithstanding the unpredictability of a highly contagious viral disease. Over the course of the pandemic, Methodist has treated more patients than any other not-for-profit health system in Dallas. It has served approximately the same number of patients as Parkland, the public hospital funded by Dallas County. Methodist Dallas in Oak Cliff and Methodist Charlton in southern Dallas County have been at the forefront of our efforts to treat a large number of patients with COVID-19. At Methodist Charlton, COVID-19 has caused significantly higher patient volumes in a patient population that is predominantly 56% Black and 27% Hispanic. Those who live in the southern sector of Dallas County have been disproportionately affected by COVID-19 because of pre-existing health conditions such as diabetes, obesity, and hypertension, and large numbers of family members who live in the same households. Population density has been identified as a condition conducive to rapid, uncontrolled spread of the virus. For every hospital and healthcare system, one of the biggest challenges of the COVID-19 crisis has been the inability to predict patient volumes. Since the beginning of the pandemic, the lab at Methodist has been a leading provider of testing for COVID-19 with a turnaround time of less than 24 hours. Throughout the pandemic, Methodist has remained focused on its values while responding quickly and effectively in an ever-changing environment. Anticipation, preparation, and readiness to deal with the unknown have made all the difference in doing the daily work of patient care during the pandemic. Over the years, Methodist has been a recognized leader in supply chain management. It is a healthcare industry leader in resourcing materials and equipment from minority-owned manufacturers and suppliers. As news of a deadly virus began to come to the fore in December 2019, Methodist dramatically increased its buy of essential supplies and equipment, including ventilators. As a result of its strategic foresight and long-standing relationship with a local manufacturer, Methodist has had a continuous supply of critically important personal protective equipment, masks, face shields, gowns, and gloves. Operationally, Methodist used conservative discretion throughout the pandemic to implement every possible measure to comply with CDC guidelines and keep its patients and staff safe, whatever the cost. During this time, Methodist remained focused on its top priorities. What is best for our patient and staff? How do we create the safest possible care environment? How do we deliver accurate, timely, comprehensive communication in the face of constantly changing information? During the 3 most acute episodes of viral surge, Methodist chose to discontinue elective procedures for short periods of time for reasons of patient safety and to ease the effect of high COVID-19 patient volumes on our healthcare providers and staff. In the interest of safety, Methodist limited the number of visitors during the pandemic, but provided iPads and cell phones so that patients could stay connected to their families. As the global pandemic became a reality, Methodist quickly pivoted and organized existing technology for continuous outpatient care. In 2017, Methodist launched Methodist Now, a virtual healthcare service in the form of an app. Methodist Now is a platform designed to offer fast, convenient care. It allows patients to chat online with board-certified Methodist Family Health Center physicians for diagnosis and treatment of several common conditions. The biggest challenge for freestanding clinics affiliated with Methodist Health System, such as the one in the Park Cities area on Lovers Lane, which you may have seen, was the need for temporary closures in order to protect both patients and clinical staff. Throughout the pandemic, Methodist has prioritized patient safety and care. Methodist soon realized that it must transform how care is delivered in order to meet the needs of patients. As the pandemic grew, it became evident that telehealth or video medical visits would be the most feasible way for many Methodist physicians to care for their patients. Methodist quickly educated its physician and staff on how to provide clinical care through a virtual platform and took the service line live. The ability to offer virtual medicine has been a key factor for Methodist in successfully navigating the pandemic. Let me state here that the culture of Methodist is exceptional. At Methodist, we trust each person's skills, we value their ideas, and we act with compassion. Much like the Rotary Club vision statement, our culture is about service above and beyond self. First and foremost, we are a family. Let me share with you excerpts from a statement sent to our employees by our CEO, Jim Scoggin, on June 5th, 2020. In the aftermath of the George Floyd killing, racial tension in the workplace added to the stress and anxiety of the pandemic. He wrote, "With profound social tensions erupting all around us, many within the Methodist family have expressed anxiety over their well-being and concern about continued opportunities for full inclusion. Methodist will always strive to be an organization where diversity is valued and where racism and hate are not tolerated. We stand in solidarity with the many people of color who work and seek care at Methodist who are hurting. For all who are suffering, we hope you will take comfort in knowing that Methodist rejects all acts or expressions of racism of any kind. As your leaders, we are here to support each of you. Together, as members of the strong Methodist family, may we all be a part of the message of hope and positive change. We must do this on a personal level by how we treat one another every day, and on an organizational level by how we address inequities. The Methodist family is committed to the hard work of eliminating real and perceived injustice to ensure racial equity for all. The best of our collective and individual humanity has been clearly evident in how those who provide care and support at Methodist continue to navigate the pandemic with strength, faith, and compassion for all. Because of the selfless dedication of the Methodist family, our patient satisfaction is at an all-time high, along with our relentless pursuit of quality improvement. Over the past year, Methodist has demonstrated its culture through our commitment to care not only for our patients and their families, but also to care for our healthcare providers, support personnel, and staff. We do this by valuing the contribution of each person who works to improve and save lives every day. This includes the doctors, nurses, medical support professionals, respiratory therapists, lab technicians, environmental specialists, catering, security, and maintenance personnel, and a dedicated management team who contribute to the care and well-being of each patient and their family. Specifically, during the pandemic, we did not lay off a single employee. We continued to hire new employees. We offered our employees premium pay for their tireless work during the 3 worst surges of COVID-19. We paid out performance bonuses at 100%. We offered subsidies for child care and elder care. We gave periodic one-time awards to express the appreciation of Methodist for each employee and their extraordinary self-sacrifice during the pandemic. Interestingly, Methodist has the highest employee retention rate of any healthcare system in the DFW area. Each recognition of the over and above work of our employees during an extraordinary time in the history of Methodist health system strengthened our sense of family and added to our culture, evident in the loyalty and dedication of our workforce to the mission of Methodist. After months of unprecedented illness and death, on December 14, 2020, Methodist was among only 5 sites in Dallas County designated by the state to receive and administer the Pfizer vaccine. For Methodist, it was a day of great rejoicing. After many dark days of doing battle with COVID-19, there was at last hope for a better tomorrow. It was humbling powerful, and unforgettable to be part of a historic day for all humanity. But it was no accident that Methodist was chosen to be among the first to provide the vaccine. Our Vice President for Pharmacy Services anticipated the need for a freezer to store the vaccine at minus 70 degrees Celsius. With characteristic planning and preparation, a freezer was purchased in July of 2020, months ahead of the actual delivery of the vaccine. Methodist had a well-organized vaccine clinic set up with a staff of dedicated healthcare professionals ready to administer doses of the vaccine shortly after the first delivery was made at 8:30 a.m. By 9 o'clock, our first healthcare worker had received the vaccine. The vaccine clinic at Methodist has been so efficient from day one that it was asked to administer doses on behalf of Parkland, Dallas County, and the City of Dallas. Over the 5 months since the first dose was given, Methodist has mobilized to administer the vaccine to those who have transportation and technology challenges. Healthcare volunteers and staff have offered the vaccine in outlying rural communities and to schools in DeSoto, Richardson, Mansfield, Duncanville, Wilmer, Hutchins, Cedar Hill, Duncanville, and Lancaster. Methodist will soon begin vaccinating students and all those who meet the current CDC age requirements. Methodist has sought out vaccine partnerships with megachurches in the southern sector of Dallas, including the Potter's House. Methodist has offered vaccine to restaurant service workers and now has vaccine clinic days when no appointment is necessary. To date, Methodist has administered almost 100,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccine with compassion and care for each life treated and saved. Methodist will continue to penetrate the communities we serve and offer the vaccine until a definitive level of immunity is reached. For however long it takes, we will continue to reach out to the neediest with hope and healing wherever they are. Finally, if you are vaccine hesitant or vaccine reluctant, let me urge you to consider your vaccine citizenship in the same way you do in your Rotary Club commitment to fight disease. Much as Rotary International has a commitment to educate and equip communities to stop the spread of polio, we now have an opportunity to stop the spread of COVID-19 and help end the global pandemic. If you have not yet been vaccinated, let me urge you to consider doing so as soon as possible. Do it to protect yourself. Do it to protect your family. Do it to respect and care for others. Do it to support and participate in the recovery and good health of our community, our nation, and the world. Do it because it's the right thing to do for the good of humanity. Thank you for the opportunity to be with you today and share with you about Methodist Health System and its commitment to improve and save lives through compassionate quality health care. If you have a medical need, it would be a privilege to serve you. Methodist would be honored by your trust. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. That was wonderful. Wow. What an organization. We are lucky to have them. Julie, we're going to place a book in a local elementary school in your honor for speaking to us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Did we have any questions for Julie? Maybe time for one or two? Patsy?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
I do think that the healthcare people that were first line with the COVID who did with such heroes, did you have very many of them get seriously ill with COVID?
When the pandemic first started, we had no idea about how contagious it was. We equipped everyone with the maximum number of garments, personal protective equipment, but inevitably there were people who came in contact with patients, and there was some infection. What we did, though, was we asked people to go home and quarantine, which they did, and then they came back to the workplace if they did not develop a serious illness. So we did have some people. What I would tell you is that the whole experience of going through the pandemic had an enormous learning curve. We knew so little when it started, and we have learned so much, which is why I said it was a constantly changing environment in terms of information, in terms of how we treated patients, in terms of how we engaged people in the emergency room, which is where so many COVID patients showed up. So it's been an enormous learning curve, and every time a surge happened, and we had 3 major surges, there were times where we felt that we had reached our maximum capacity that had far exceeded our emergency planning, and yet we accommodated every patient. We did not have to, move patients, but we just managed, and it was an enormous feat. Did that answer your question more or less? Anyone else? Yes. Hi, Philip. Good to see you. Yes, we have been busy. The fact that Methodist gives 10% of its net patient revenue invested back into the community is, first of all, part of our mission. Not-for-profit institutions certainly want to, in some way, make a profit, but we're not a bank. We don't save money. We don't collect money. We certainly invest our profits wisely, but we do that so that we can give back to our community. And you are getting ready to open or be part of a clinic in Bonton. I did a little research, and Bonton is about 8 miles from Methodist Dallas in Oak Cliff. And the people in Bonton are part of a healthcare desert in our community. And so most of them, if you look around today, most everyone here has insurance of some kind. People in Bonton don't have insurance, or if they do, they're highly underinsured. And so what do they do when they need health care? They come to an emergency room where everyone is treated regardless of their ability to pay. That's not only our mandate, but it's also our mission. So because we see so many patients that come through Methodist Charlton and Methodist Dallas who are uninsured, we are happy to give them the best quality treatment, just like anyone who is fully insured. That we make no differentiation. Everyone is treated exactly the same, and because that's our heart and that's our mission. So it is with gratitude that we are able to give back to our community, and we're certainly not shy about saying that this is part of our mission. Philip, did that answer your question? Good, thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Well, it is an honor to hear about all the good work happening at Methodist, and also an honor to liken it to our motto, which is service above self, walking in the same steps. Well, with that, next week I hope we're going to have another great speaker, Tom Ziegler with the Zig Ziglar Corporation. Eric Harrison is chair of the day. And we've got, I think we're ready to end this meeting with the 4-way test. Yes, JR is our newest member here. Please stand. Yeah, you're going to ring the bell, so we need you up here. And it's right there on the screen.
All right, got it. Okay. The 4-way test. Are the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Meeting adjourned.
Well played. Thank you. Welcome. We're glad you're here.
Yeah, you got it.
Thanks, Daniel. Have a good weekend.